Hi, my name is Janet and welcome to 10-Minute Transformations, 10-minute yoga classes with just enough time to transform some part of your day. So today we're going to focus on yoga for hip stretches for your yoga. So come on up to standing, we'll start standing and let's understand how our hips work. So when we want to take a squat, so you're standing with your feet together, in order to take a squat, you're going to take your feet and separate them out. You can go as wide or as little as you want, and then turn your toes out. When you bend your knees, open your knees to the side. So this is external rotation in the hip socket. So the toes are turned out. So let's take that squat, reach your arms high overhead, breathe in, bring your hands to touch. As you breathe out, sit deep into the squat. Let's do that again. Breathe in, stretch up nice and tall, palms connect above you. As you exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart and squat deep. One more time. As you inhale, reach up high. And as you breathe out, sit down nice and deep, hands at heart center. And let's stay here and take a few breaths. Just really center yourself on the sensations you're feeling in your body. Tuck your tail under, pull your belly in, your knees open, and your thighs rotate externally. Feeling it? Take one more deep breath in, squat a little deeper as you breathe out. Good. On your inhale, straighten the legs and take your toes and turn them in. So I want your feet to either be parallel with one another or pigeon-toed inward. And this is an internal rotation in the hip socket to release the hips in a forward fold. So begin to fold forward. It's okay to soften the knees a little bit. Take good care if you feel any discomfort in your back. Don't do it. If it feels good, go further and further down. Some of you might be able to reach all the way down until you touch the mat. Just pull yourself deep and hang out here, feeling how your hips are rotating in the sockets internally. Couple more breaths here. One more deep breath in and hang as deep as you can as you breathe out. And then slowly begin to roll all the way back up. Good. Let's bring your feet all the way together to touch and try one balance pose that has an external rotation in one hip. Tree pose. We're going to shift onto the left foot. It's okay to put your hand on a wall or a chair or a piece of furniture. Turn your right foot out, external rotation. Bend the right knee, slide your right foot to the calf. Maybe it's a little kickstand on the ground, or reach down and place the right foot on the inner left thigh. Challenge your balance, bring your hands to heart center. This is tree pose. Feeling the external rotation in the right hip and the internal rotation slightly or neutral position of the left hip. Great. And then go ahead and release, placing your right foot down, toes on the right foot point forward, and then the left foot turns out. External rotation of the left hip as you bring the left foot into its equal place. So maybe the foot was against the calf, the inner thigh, woo, or a little kickstand on the ground. Your hands come back to heart center. We try to keep the hips level in this position. You can feel the left hip externally rotating. The right hip is facing forward and almost working toward an internal rotation. Great. Take another big breath in here. Just hold right there as you breathe out. Good. And then slowly release your left foot. We're going to take this into a deep hip challenge called frog pose. So separate your feet a little bit, maybe just slightly wider than your hips. Turn your toes out, although I've seen people do this pose, frog pose or garland pose, with their feet pointed forward. So if that feels more natural for you, do it. And then start to squat down low. You're going to come all the way down as low as your body can go. Some of you might bring your feet a little closer or further. You can kind of feel it out for yourself. Your hands on the mat. You see why it's called frog pose. Looks like a frog. If it's possible in your body, bring your hands to prayer position in front of your heart. Use your knees to push. Use your elbows to push your knees open nice and wide. Good. Just take a couple breaths here, noticing how challenging this posture can feel. It's pretty intense. Nice. We're going to take this all the way down to the butt. Ha. So as you come down onto your tush, bring the bottoms of your feet together to touch. Allow your knees to fall open wide like butterfly wings. Pull your heels in close to your groin. What we're doing is we're just stretching into the hips. You may find it necessary to sit on a block or a blanket. Your knees might be up high, and that's perfectly okay. Over time, maybe your hips will open up just a little bit more. You can stay upright if this works for you. If you are really flexible in your hips and this feels good, you might begin to bend forward. So whatever position seems to work best for you, just hang around there, feeling the deep inner thigh stretch. Maybe you're getting a little stretch in your lower back. Good. Ooh, one more breath here. And then rise up. Send your feet forward just a little bit and maybe bring the knees up and down a little bit. Just kind of loosen it up. Let's try this again with the heels further from the groin. Your legs look like they've created a diamond shape. Hold on to your shins or your feet. Lift up tall. This could be your pose, or if you're feeling it, begin to bend forward. Can you feel that stretch in your hips and your lower back? Anytime we loosen up the hips, we help to relieve low back tightness as well. Good. Take one more breath here. Whew. Nice. And then come all the way up. Are you ready for what I consider to be the deepest hip stretch of all? Maybe you agree. Let's give it a try. Send your legs out wide like the letter V. Some of you might need to bend the knees. Your feet can be closer or further apart. You choose. Let your legs be as relaxed as possible. If your toes curl in or out a little bit, it's okay. And just begin to walk your hands forward. Deep hip opening stretch. Woo. As you pause here and open up the hips, just take a moment in gratitude for yourself for showing up on your mat. Just 10 minutes of yoga, a quick little hip opening stretch, yoga for your hips. So good. And then slowly come all the way back up. We're gonna come into lying on our back. So I'll turn sideways, so I'm lying on my mat, and come all the way down to your back. We just did this posture, bound angle in a seated position. Let's do it reclining. Bottoms of your feet touch and your knees fall open like butterfly wings. Really nice stretch for the hips. Just noticing how you feel in this posture. Good. And then slowly draw your knees up. Toe heel your feet to the outer edges of your mat and bring your knees together to touch. Internal rotation of the hips. So we're just moving the hip socket around a little bit, gently loosening up our hips. Feeling good. Ooh. Alrighty, and that will lead us to our deep hip opening stretch. To finish up, supine pigeon. Separate your knees, bring your feet in just a little bit, about hip distance apart. Take your right leg, extend it up, bend your right knee and place your right ankle on your left thigh. Lift your head up and thread the needle right hand between the legs, meets the left hand at the back of the left thigh. If that's hard for you to do, then maybe just leave your left foot on the mat. If you can do it, you lay back down. Use your right elbow to push the right knee open as you pull the left knee toward you. Oh yeah, I'm really feeling it. An important cue I like to point out is it's nice to keep your right foot flexed. We want to protect the right knee, and flexing this foot connects to this front of the tibia and anterior muscle, and that helps stabilize your knee. There's no pain in yoga. If it hurts, you're pushing too hard. So be sure to take care of yourself and do this only as deeply as feels right for you. Good. Whew. Let's release side one. So I'm going to let the left foot come down, the right foot will come to meet it, and here we go. Second side, left foot kicks up high. Bend your left knee, place your left ankle on your right thigh. Lift your head and thread the needle. This time the left hand goes between the opening between your legs, and the right hand meets the left hand at the back of the right thigh. Lay your head back down. Keep your left foot flexed. Use your left elbow to push your left knee away from you as you pull your right knee toward you. Or modify or do it in the way that feels absolutely perfect in your body today. We'll take a few breaths here, trying to match the stretch on both the right and the left side. Anytime you're willing to loosen up your hips a bit, it helps to release the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint, and boy, is that good for your back and your legs. So this 10-minute hip stretch has so many more benefits than just your hips. Good. Whew. Let's go ahead and release the second side. There we go. Awesome. Roll onto your side. Push yourself upright to seated. Nice job. Maybe as you come to seated, you go, oh, that feels pretty good right now. My hips are loose and I can sit up with ease and with comfort. Thank you so much for giving yourself this 10 minutes, and thank you for subscribing to Free Yoga Club, and leave comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about our practice today. Thank you.